start by talking about our off week, open week. Greg brought to my attention that it's only recently that we looked like we didn't know how to handle one, that we are 8-4, and that we had a pretty good run going up to the last 3 years. So, but what we try to do is keep a tempo going at practice, and still take the time off for guys to get some recovery out of this. So we had a fairly routine week. The really challenge coming back is finishing plays, because when you've been away from it a little while, you can rehearse all you want to. You still got, when the game starts, you got to finish. So, you know, that we've got practice a little finishing, but it doesn't really make any sense to go out there and start scrimmaging right before you play somebody. So we'll continue to develop that as a challenge for us to come back better, as a better team than we were when we left. And we have I think, a very significant challenge in Austin Peay. You know, Jake Ryan and Ryan White and Devin Stark, nobody has a better trio of offensive playmakers as this quarterback, this running back, and this wide receiver. Nobody. And what they have gotten so much better in having than last year. And you know, Jake Ryan's dad played in the NFL for 13 years as a quarterback. This guy's he's gotten better and better. You know, he has a real heritage that he represents as a quarterback, and he's really, I think, developed into what you would expect with that kind of background. They've always run the ball well against us, and they've always been a real challenge to run against, and that's Rick Christopher's mindset. That's the way he coaches. I think he's year in, year out the best coach in this league. He has a philosophy, and you can see it every time you go to play him. So, you know, we're a team that's tried to become a stop the run the ball football team. We've made a lot of mistakes. They have been really opportunistic of taking advantage of people's mistakes. Only in this last ball game did they become a team that hurt themselves with mistakes, which they took a very close game against UT Martin and let it get completely out of hand with turnovers. So, you know, we've got to get back to where we're finishing plays and not beating ourselves. We got to know, you know, how good a football team we really are playing in Austin Peay. It's not an easy place for us to play. We haven't played, I can't remember us ever playing good up there. So we've got to, you know, we've got to create the mindset to go on the road, which was has been a challenge for us. And I thought last time we played, we went on the road. I thought we acted like a team that was trying to create that mindset. So the two guys that are here, you know, the best thing is that these are both player of the week kind of players, and they're both sophomores. So, but they are, you know, they determine the difference between winning and losing by the caliber of play that they've represented, and they're here to answer questions. Anybody got any for Cody and Jack? And Jack's name is Clarence Jackson, but we call him Jack because his dad's name is Clarence. It's a family thing.
Right.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question. What makes it so difficult to play up there?
I don't know how you say. I mean, we just haven't.
It's not real big.
It's not real big, but I don't know that it's that necessarily. I can't tell you what it is. I just don't think we've played good up there. You know, if you go back and look, we played them a whole lot better here than we have up there. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what this team is going to do. Now, we've tried to create a different mindset in a lot of ways with this football team, and they have responded to every one of them. So we played really good, I thought, last week on the road, last time we went on the road, and I hope this will be the case too. These two guys have never been there. So
It's a small stadium.
it's a small stadium, but these two guys represent the new mindset, the go-forward mindset. They're not here to represent history. They're here to represent what they're going to do about the future. So, and they're the kind of guys that can do it.
Cody, I know what the coach had said in his opening remarks, but I want to get your impressions on how was last week compared to last year's open date practice week, and maybe the playoff open date practice week. And moving that forward, what gives you the sense that the impact of that will be different on this year as what last year's history was?
You know, I thought we went into last week's practice with the mindset of Austin Peay and not just focusing on, hey, we get to leave and you know, get a week off. It's been a while. It's been a long time, but you know, I think everyone was just excited about getting back and starting preparing for Austin Peay. So just a lot more up-tempo practice, and you know, we did have a great week last week. So I think this off week's going to be a lot different than the past.
Is there still any kind of bitter taste from the impact of last year's regular season of that? Because you guys were 8-0, smoking everybody, had it, then went to Eastern Kentucky, and then the wheels started falling off. Do you remember that, and how much has been said about, all right, well, let's not let that happen this time with this bunch?
Yeah, I mean, everyone definitely remembers it because, you know, we started losing, pretty much lost the conference championship, and you know, it just fuels the fire. Got a bunch of guys, a bunch of seniors that just are ring hungry, and they don't want it to slip away. So the off week's a big deal. You know, you got to get your momentum back. Really, we went on a good run, so it's definitely going to be a big deal for us to come out and really have a good ball game against Austin Peay.
And because you're both up there, it's going to be Clarence while you're both sitting together. What did you think was going to happen in this open week, Jack? You, Jack.
Oh, it's fun.
What did you think what was going to happen during the practice week in the open week, and did it meet your reality of once you finally got out there and what they had you do?
Oh yeah, I kind of knew that Coach Crowe was going to keep the intensity up as far as practicing full pads. I felt like that's what we need to continue our winning and getting better as a team. So that's kind of what I expected coming into that opening week practice.
Were there any specific things for the players, any specific things that you remember doing last week that was either unexpected or say, well, maybe we do 30 minutes more of whatever that, you know, maybe you weren't expected to have happen?
Not at all. We just got more into our technique. We had a little more time to get into our technique, being that we had a bye week.
Yeah, basically what he said, you know, we kind of just focused on ourselves, just trying to get better at what we hadn't been doing as well, so we just had more time to look at ourselves and get better.
Coach Crowe, when you look at some of the numbers on both of these teams, I know you stress being a physical team, running the ball, being good stopping and running, that kind of stuff, like you spoke on the teleconference today. But when you look at kind of the things that Pete does or doesn't do, could this be an opportunity for your receivers to get more involved this week just because of what they either don't do on the back end or the front end, because they're like dead last in pass defensive stats?
Well, we haven't achieved who we are yet. You know, we went through a transition in style of play when Cody became our starting quarterback, and he's brought some unique playmaking of his own talents to that. But I don't think we have achieved. I mean, for Cody to throw the ball 11 times a game might send a signal that we're not the passing team we were. We're every bit the passing team we were.
Right.
He can make every throw as much as Ryan Perilou, anybody. All right. we haven't gotten to a rhythm of running pass yet. I mean, we were still trying to make our point about what we could run the ball. I think we have to some extent, but throwing the ball 11 times a game or even 20 times a game does not achieve the kind of balance that we ultimately want to achieve. I mean, Cody doesn't want to be known as a running quarterback, but because he's a throwing quarterback, but he brings running skills, and we've got to get to what we are. We've been sort of looking for our identity for a while. Have what you've seen has what's been seen so far been it? No. So what about, how does that relate to Austin Peay? We better be able to do anything and everything at any time going to play them. Because it would not be very smart to get bullheaded and say we're just going to run right in here at the box at these guys. We would come out very disappointed if we tried that. So we've got to attack the whole field horizontally, vertically, and be a threat to throw it on any down.
So it looks like they